of a girl like her is truly a dream come true.
Come on. It only feels right. Let's go. Don't pass me by. It feels right. Come on. Don't pass me by. It feels right. Yo, this is warfare. The devil ain't fighting fair, but I'm armed with God. Come test me if you dare. You're unaware of the word of God that's behind me. Stop throwing smoke screens trying to blind me. I'm a godly soldier, so I'm ready to go to war. Attention, the evils, I'm about to even the score. It's not talking about baseball or any other sport. No weapon form shall prosper, only praise reports. How God's people winning and the devil is losing. Of how God's people are healed and the devil is bruising. The Bible is a guide on how to win this war now. Call me medieval soldiers, cause I'm swinging the sword down. Excalibur, that's cutting the devil deep. Feels good to be free with this blood running through me. Don't pass me by, I continue to try. Reach in the sky, screaming my, oh my, Don't pass me by, it feels right. Come on. Don't pass me by, it feels right.
Made some mistakes, but Lord, I pray for your forgiveness. And I know I'm a child of God, but they don't think, cause I'm still sinning. We done took so many losses, it's a blessing, we still winning. I was Lucho, was still here, I had a dream that he was living. When I think about my granddad, swear to God, I wanna cry. But I swear I feel your spirit when I look up in the sky. We was tired of taking chances, but we ain't afraid to try. Conversations with the Lord, I told him not to pass me by. I say a prayer for all my brothers in the struggle. I told them leave the streets, go get a job, go get a hustle. I always call on God whenever I find myself in trouble. Me at 33 ballin', trying to get a triple-double. I say a prayer for all my brothers in the struggle. I told them leave the streets, go get a job, go get a hustle. I always call on God whenever I find myself in trouble. Me at 33 ballin', trying to get a triple-double.
Don't pass me by, it feels right. Come on. Don't pass me by, it feels right.
I done did so many wrongs, now I'm just trying to make it right. I was living life in darkness, I'm so thankful for the light. This for all them days of suffering and all them lonely nights. Fighting demons, it was hard, but I ain't never lose the fight.
No, we won't lose. With God on our side now, we out the streets. On the spirit we rely now, to him we bow. Raising hands real high now, we smiling hard. Too tired to cry now.
Too tired to cry, take a look in the sky. Daddy told me switch it up, I thought I'd give it a try. When I heard about my brothers, I was questioning why. Still my help come from the Lord till the day that I die.
But we live it while we hear many fish to fry. Doing much better now, don't have to sigh. God's favored men, disciple 2 times on a chase for God's mercy. It can't pass us by. Don't pass me by, it feels right. Come on. Don't pass me by, it feels right. Yo, 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 yo. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Is this thing on? Can y'all hear me out there? Can y'all hear me out there? Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. I want to welcome you all to yet another episode of Diciple Talks. I am your gracious and humble host, Esco the Disciple, and I will be kicking it with you guys for a little bit. This is season 5, episode 10 of my podcast. And before I get too ahead of myself, man, let me just go ahead and put this statement out there, man. God is good, man. God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good, and he is most certainly worthy of all praises that are due. Gotta acknowledge that presence, man, each and every single episode, man. Where would I be if it wasn't for the Lord waking me up this morning? Where would I be if it wasn't for the Lord touching me and having me to wake up, man, just to go on about my business, man? I'm just so thankful just to be in the land of the living yet again, man. So thankful. And I won't ever take it for granted that I am here kicking it with you all yet again, man. What is going on, good people? So before we get to our guest, which is anxiously waiting backstage, I got to give you guys an opening statement, man. I got to give you guys an opening statement. And my opening statement simply says this, man. In times of trouble, in times of peril, we got to find an anchor. We got to find an anchor in times of trouble, man. Check this out. Listen, check this out. We have all faced different situations, different moments when life feels like a storm, right? When the winds of uncertainty, you lost things, you have fear, or something that's just going on that threatens to pull you away from any and everything that we think of as solid. We've all been there. It might be the loss of a loved one, it might be a health crisis, a financial setback, or simply the quiet, heavy feeling of feeling lost. Think about what's going on in our country right now, man, with the federal government shutdown and how so many lives are being impacted by the uncertainty of how they're going to make it based upon what's going on in the world right now, man. Really take a moment to think about that, because it's real out there right now. It is real out there. So in those moments of uncertainty, in those moments of crisis, in those moments of chaos, calamity, confusion, what keeps us from being swept away? The answer is very simple, but yet profound. We have to find an anchor. We got to find an anchor. Now, let me say this. Finding an anchor doesn't mean that the storm is going to stop. It doesn't calm the waves. It doesn't quiet the wind. It doesn't stop the storm. What it does is it keeps the ship steady until the storm passes. And in life, we all need something or someone that holds us steady when everything else feels like it's falling apart. For some people, that anchor is rooted in faith. I am one of those people. A belief in something greater, a trust that even when we don't understand the why, there is purpose behind the pain. Faith reminds us that storms are temporary, but built, and also it strengthens us, that allows us to be able to push through regardless of what's going on around us. Some people, they might find their anchor in their friends and family, the people who sit in the storm with us and are just there. We all, I won't say we all, but the hope is that we have, a couple of solid people in our lives that'll be able to just be there when we feel like the world is falling apart.
Me personally, I like it when I have somebody that can actually be there without actually saying anything. Sometimes you don't necessarily even have to say anything, just knowing that somebody is there with you, rocking with you. People that check in on you, people that make you laugh, people that remind you that even though you have all this stuff going on, that you're not alone. Sometimes it's not even the answers that they can provide or the words that they say that can actually help us, but merely them being present in the moment. What a lot of people don't understand is that love in the most simplest form can be the most powerful anchor that there is. Just knowing that in spite of all that you got going on, you got somebody that's rocking with you, that's loving on you, that is just there. You don't even have to necessarily say anything, but just knowing that somebody is there with you, it's a beautiful feeling, man. It's so beautiful. So you have, some people find anchor in the faith, some people find anchors in the friends and family. And then a lot of the times, a lot of us, we find that anchor deep rooted within ourselves. It's the resilience that we have. It's the quiet, stubborn part of the human spirit that refuses to give up, even when everything else seems to be lost. When we look deep down in ourselves, we often discover the strength that we didn't even know that we had. Sometimes you don't know how strong that you actually are until you have no choice but to be strong. We think about how we've overcome things in the past, and we realize that if I made it before, I can make it again. If God did it yesterday, he'll do it today and he'll do it tomorrow. Now, the anchors that we find in life, it's not by accident. The anchors are built before the storm actually hits. What a lot of people don't realize is that those anchors that we have, they are already there before we actually need them. Just like how a sailor prepares the ship when the water is calm, we have to realize that we have to prepare ourselves in peaceful times. Now listen, don't mistake what I'm saying here. A lot of the times when things hit you out of nowhere, you kind of find yourself scrambling or trying to figure out what is it that you're going to do to get to or get through what you're going through. But it's the fact that we do things like we nurture the right relationships, we take care of our mental health, we cultivate our faith, we find our sense of purpose. By doing all of these things when things are going good, it helps prepare us for when things aren't so good. It is these things that keeps us grounded when life starts to shake our foundation. So when trouble comes, ask yourself, what is my anchor? Is it my faith? Is it family? Is it a purpose that's bigger than my pain? Is it a combination of all the above? Really take the time to think about what it is that you can lean on when things get crazy. And remember this, if you guys don't remember anything I say here, remember this fact. Whatever anchor that you choose is not meant to isolate you from the world. It's not meant to take you out of the storm. I want to make that clear, because a lot of the times the storms that we go through, we have to go through. I can think of countless things that I would not have learned had it not been for a storm. So a lot of the times the things that we have to go through is not by accident. And I know, it doesn't feel good to go through any type of adversity. It doesn't feel good when things don't feel good. So I want to make it clear that whatever anchor that you choose is not meant to isolate you from the world, and it's not meant to take you out of the storm. What it simply is it's there to help you to remain steady, so that way you can sail through the storm. You can power through the storm. And once that storm passes, you pull that anchor up and you continue on your journey. A lot of the times you are often stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than you were before you went through. How can you tell somebody how to get through something in particular? that you have not actually been through. And see, a lot of the times we get so caught up in, oh, poor me, or I'm going through these things, not realizing that a lot of the times we go through stuff, it's not actually for us. We learn in the moment, but then it's for you to basically pay it forward to be able to help somebody else that might go through the same thing. Because trust and believe, when life is lifing, you're not the first person that's going to go through something. You're not going to be the last person. But nevertheless, we still have to just be thankful in hindsight. And I know it's easier said than done when you are in the midst of your circumstance. But in hindsight, I'm thankful for the storms that I have gone through in my life, because the wisdom that I have obtained as a result of going through those things are priceless. And I know, it doesn't feel good to go through anything in the moment, but we got to be thankful, even while we're going through, that we are able to lean on certain things that can anchor us, that can keep us grounded and keep us from drifting away while we are going through those storms. Now, remember this. At the end of the day, life isn't about avoiding storms. I know that's going to mess some people's theory up, but I want to be clear. Life is not about avoiding storms. It's about learning how to stand firm through those storms. Because in this life, you will go through something. And if you look and say, oh, well, I haven't been through anything, just keep living. Just keep living. You are at some point going to come up against something that feels hard when you're going through it. Knowing that somewhere deep down within us or around us, there is an anchor that will hold us steady while we go through those storms. So when the winds rise and the waves crash, don't despair. Remember that you have an anchor. Remember that you have something that can hold you up, that can hold you down, and that can hold you in place as you go through the trials and tribulations of life. Hold fast. The storm will pass. Now remember this, the storm does not come to last. Hello, somebody. But it comes to pass. So even though sometimes it feels like it's raining for 40 days and 40 nights and things is going crazy, the storm eventually has to pass. And when it does, you'll find yourself not only still standing, but ready to sail towards brighter days. So just keep in mind that in times of trouble, a lot of people in this country are dealing with the ramifications of this government shutdown. But keep in mind that in times like this, we need an anchor. My anchor is a combination of some of the things I've already discussed. What your anchor is your business. But don't wait until you are in the midst of the storm to go searching for an anchor. Find those anchors ahead of time. Be prepared. So that way, when you do find yourself in trouble, you are able to figure out what it is that you need to go through or what you need to do to get through. It's not always going to be easy to get through a storm, but trust and believe that when you get through it, it would have been worth it, because the wisdom that you obtained in the midst of that storm is priceless. And don't ever allow anybody to tell you anything different. Don't ever allow anybody to tell you anything different, man. Find your anchor. Cultivate your anger. Or not your anger, your anchor. Because it's going to be important, man. It's going to be really, really important to find what it is that's going to hold you down as you go through this here life and eventually whatever storms that you might encounter. So that is my opening statement. Let me go ahead and bring myself on up. What is happening? Ooh, looking a little disheveled there. My bad. What's happening, good people? So a couple of housekeeping items to discuss really quickly before I get my guests to come on up. As you guys see, the banner that is scrolling on the bottom of the screen, if you're watching this on my social media accounts, if you have not subscribed to my podcast, please take a moment to do so on your favorite podcast networks. I am listed on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeartRadio, so many others. So please, 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 if you have not done so, please take a moment to subscribe to my podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and I am typically there. Also, if there's anyone that is looking to get in touch with your boy, please feel free to reach out to me via email. My email address is diciple_talks@yahoo.com. That is DICIPLE_TALKS@yahoo.com. If there is anyone that is looking to be a blessing to the show, first and foremost, as you guys always hear me say, definitely keep me lifted in prayer, man. I don't want anybody to PREY on me, but definitely if you're coming with genuineness, you can definitely PRAY for me. I am never above the genuine prayers of the people. Let me put my headphones on so I can hear better. Here we go. So yes, so definitely keep me lifted in prayer. And also, if there's anyone that is looking to be a financial blessing to the show, feel free to do so by sending me Cash App. My Cash App is $Esco the Disciple. That is ESCODADICIPLE. Again, I am not soliciting funds at all. If you don't have it to give, don't feel pressured or don't feel bad. It is okay. But if you do want to be a blessing to the show, like something you hear or what have you, you are more than free to be able to bless me in that manner, and I would certainly appreciate any donations that is being given. All right, so I think those are all of my announcements. I'm checking to see if the guest of honor is ready. I am looking backstage to see. I think she is on the way, so we are gonna give her a moment. But yes, definitely, getting back to the anchor, man. It is so important for us to make sure that we find the anchor that we need to be able to hold us down, man, when things get crazy. Because in this life, we definitely need things that will hold us down. For sure. And I think my guest is ready. So now that we have gotten all of that out of the way, let me go ahead and introduce the author that we are spotlighting this evening. This young lady brings us greetings from the great state of Texas. She is an author and a screenwriter, so we are going to get into all of that with her this evening. So I want to go ahead and introduce to some and reintroduce to other my special guest, Miss Contessa Thornton. Hello.
Hey, Esco, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. How you doing today?
I'm blessed.
There we go. Love it. Love to hear it. So before we get into highlighting you as an author and all the projects that you got going on, give us your life story in 3 minutes. Go.
Absolutely. So I'm a military child. I was raised under a Army sergeant. So I moved all over. I don't have a specific place that I call home. I grew up in Germany for 8 years, but for the most part, Texas was where I spent most of my time. So I would consider myself a Texas native.
Okay.
I am an author. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I have 3 adult children. I just turned 50 years old on Halloween, Scorpio season out here.
Wait. I'm sorry. Say that again. You turn how old?
Do what now?
How old you turn?
I turned 50 years old on Halloween.
Don't stop that line. I'm gonna see some ID. No,
I mean, so that was a blessing in itself. I marked that milestone. And like you said, I'm an author and a screenwriter.
Absolutely. So military black, been all over the place. You say you spend time in Germany and Texas as a child as well?
Absolutely. Mostly Germany, Texas. So I, consider myself a Texas native since I spent a lot of time here.
Okay. So based on that lifestyle, what is like some of the, I guess, principles that you've learned from being a military brat? Because I hear people say, I hear like both sides of the coin. I hear some people saying, oh, I got exposed to a lot of different things. But then I hear people say, oh, well, I was never able to put roots anywhere. So what would you say is like the best thing about the way that you came up?
The best thing about being a military child is you adapt to all situations. You adapt to all people. You adapt to different cultures very easily. We're very fluid because we
Okay.
had to be. So we're going to get along with anybody.
Okay. Got you. All right. So definitely being adaptable. And would you say that there's anything that maybe you wish did not happen as a result of you moving around, or was everything all good?
Well, I'm disconnected to my family, my father's
Okay.
family and my mother's family, because I didn't grow up around them. So where most people would call a cousin, I'm very disconnected from my family. My military family is my family. So, that's something that it hurts as a child, right? Because you don't have any connection. Your roots that you spoke of, you don't have those roots where most people get roots. They grow up somewhere and they're around their cousins and their grandparents. I got to see my grandparents when we got to visit, right? So that's one thing that was rough. When I realized that I was a military child, I thought we all military children, to be honest, but I realized when I got older that I was completely disconnected to family.
Okay. Got you. Being disrespectful. Okay. I could definitely see that kind of bouncing around and not having like that time of fellowship, I guess.
Mhm.
People have like Sunday dinners, people have like holidays, but if you spend so much time away, then you really don't have those connections
Mhm.
with family. So I could definitely see that. But on the flip side of that, I'm sure you were exposed to a lot of different things that kind of shaped you to the person that you are present day as a result of you kind of bouncing all over the place.
Absolutely. First of all, I think the funniest thing is most people can't tell where I'm from because I never got an accent. So that's the
Hmm.
first thing. Again, like I said, I'm very adaptable, very fluid. I find comfort in the unknown where that scares a lot of people. I find comfort in the unknown.
Wow. Okay. Well, I definitely can't share that sentiment, but but I mean, again, but again, growing up that way, I guess you got to kind of roll with the punches, I guess, because from what I understand, military people they could wake up one day and they be like, pack up, you guys got to leave in like 2 3 days. So,
You
uh,
just said it. How about
yeah.
going to school and coming home and the whole house was packed because the military would pack the house. So we'd go to school and come home and house packed, getting ready to get on a plane, end up in a different country. Very
Wow.
difficult. Very difficult because let's say you made friends, in this neighborhood or at the schools or what have you. I grew up in a home, they didn't tell us what was going on. So you just wake up and you're in a completely different land, completely different area, completely different country sometimes. And so it can be very difficult and you have to adapt.
Absolutely. But I will probably say, and again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the experience of bouncing around, um, I would say, and from the outside looking in, it kind of shaped who you are as a person, and then also in your endeavors with you, being an author, and with you now being a screenwriter and getting into that. I'm sure, as in some way, shape, or form, what you've gone through or what you lived through as a child and kind of coming into your own as an adult, um, shaped, what you're doing present day. Is that safe to say?
You're absolutely right. My parents actually shaped me to be who I am alongside the way I grew up. So my mother started me on Sesame Street at a very young age. She was a homemaker. So potty training, she tells me the story all the time. She had me in front of Sesame Street. They
Hmm.
cultivated me with books. I mean, I started reading at 3 years old. I would just grab anything, whether I said the word right or wrong, I would just say it. And that was very impressive to my father. And as a young lady, we love our fathers. Well, most young ladies love their fathers, I'll put it that way. And
Hmm.
so once I saw that that was the key to his heart was to read, 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 I just took off. And so my mom cultivated, and every time we'd go to the store, it was called the PX, the military store, she'd buy another book, buy another book. So I had books, tons of books, and I would just sit and read and learn.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So with that being stated, of course, the reason that I invited you on is because I hear that you have this book. So tell us a little bit about the concept, or about the concept of your book, and then also the inspiration behind writing it.
Absolutely. So I always have a lot of projects on deck. And after COVID, we all got shut in. We all got shut
Right.
in. At that
Right.
time, I was single and I decided that I was going to date. There was no way to date at COVID. So I decided I was going to try online dating. It was a complete nightmare. I hated it. I just did not like it. It wasn't for me. But with that experience came this story. Okay, so it's a story about this middle-aged woman, and it's a fictional story, but a lot of it's based on true experiences. Who decides that she wants to date, but she doesn't have any friends, so she doesn't go out, she doesn't mingle. The only direct connection that she has is with her family, her father and her mother, and she's an only child. So she decides, hey, I'm gonna download an app and I'm gonna do some online dating. And so she goes through her online dating experience. Within this experience, even though it's a romantic comedy, which is really, really different for me and my style of writing, it does touch on mental health because that is something that I'm very passionate about, mental health matters. So it
Hmm.
touches on the aspect of trying to date in the digital age. It touches on mental health issues. And it also touches on people who live through the world of a virtual community. There's a lot of people like my character, her name is Monica. There's a lot of Monicas around the world who do not have any further connection besides the digital world, social media, online dating. That's all they have. And so there's a lot of mishaps in her online dating experiences in this. It's an audiobook. I did that on purpose. In this day and age, everybody's traveling. Most of the world works from home. So I made an audiobook for those people on the run or those people who like to sit at their desk and listen to books. And went through, worked with a sound engineer and actress, and we got it done.
Nice, nice. So a little bit of rom-com, a little bit of mental health, which I really like because I'm a very big mental health advocate myself. So a little bit of that, a little bit of online dating, which is pretty popular these days. You got a lot of people who I don't I I don't know. Do people still go out and like say, "Hey, how you doing? Can I talk?" Can do people still do that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh,
I don't know either. I don't think so. Word around the street, I have a little social media presence, just a small one. And word around town is no, no,
okay.
and so everything is virtual. I don't think that we sprung back from COVID. I don't think we sprung back from the shutdown. Now, we were already delving into the new world of dating, I think, around when COVID happened, right?
Hmm.
With me at 50 years old, I remember you had to go to the club or something. You had to go out and meet
Hmm.
people, and people had to come up to you and be of interest of you and exchange information. And it just was, I miss those days. I miss the 90s of human interaction and connection. But it seems like at that point, I don't think that we ever recovered. And I think the comfort of being able to shop from home for a mate, per se, or a partner became alluring.
Shop from
It was like a
shop from.
catalog.
I like the way you put that. Shop from home. So talk a little bit about a little bit more about the mental health aspect of the book because that's something a lot of people, especially post COVID, right? Because when the world shut down, I think the mask that people put on as they went out in the world, they couldn't put it on because they were basically looking at themselves. So talk a little bit more about how your book kind of sheds light on that post-COVID.
Exactly. So what happened is, because this character was birthed at COVID, she actually grew within that period, right? So what happened is, she has to look in the mirror because she does not leave her home. She has to look in the mirror every single day at who she is. Now, she was already struggling a little bit throughout the book with a little bit of mental health issues, but it is highlighted when she decides to extend herself and try to go out and meet people. The mask falls off because now everybody can see. It's one thing to be a person in a virtual sense, on an app, talking to them in a messaging type system, but to have to leave your home for some people is very hard. And so her mask continues to fall off every single time she tries to go on these dates.
Mm. Man, listen, I'm just thinking about like how, like the sense of isolation that COVID brought about, and I'm thinking like how you try to leave the comfort of your home post COVID and go out in the world, date, or really anything, and how scary it is to try to interact with other people after having sat within yourself
Yep.
for so long.
Yep.
And so in the book, does it highlight that at all, or does it pinpoint like how to navigate it, or what, how does, although it is fiction, how would you say that the book can like maybe address that type of scenario?
Well, I do want to make it clear, it's not a self-help book. It is a romantic comedy that drudges up mental health issues,
Okay.
and because it was birthed at COVID, it will have that type of tone, right?
Right.
With this woman who does not leave the house, and that's just the reality. If you think about it, nobody hardly leaves the house. Everything is virtual. People don't even want to pick up the phone and talk. It's gotten that bad. And so what happened is, again, her leaving the house and her forcing herself to go on dates and trying to communicate with people in a normal manner, like just face to face, drudges up her mental health. Throughout the book, she keeps pushing forward. It's called It's in the Bio, and that's kind of twofold. It's in the bio, look at my bio, see what I'm about, but also in her biology, how her chemical makeup is. There's something to be said about mental health. Some people think you're born with it. Some people think that it is caused by external circumstances. I tend to think it's a little bit of both. And so that's what is shown in the book. It shows that, yeah, she was probably predisposition to have a lot of the issues she was having, but it was hypersensitive every time she attempted to try to meet up with someone, or even just to deal with her parents. Her parents are elderly. And so that can be a little bit of an issue right there. So the way she addresses her own personal needs is she keeps forging through. Every time something doesn't work out, she keeps forging through. Every time issues come up in one of these dates, there was a particular situation, which I won't go too deep in, which could have been very traumatic. She pushes through. And so that's how she does it. She chooses her path in this. She chooses her path and how she's going to drive this virtual world. And because it is a romantic comedy, it's kind of a way to laugh it off. But when sometimes laughter is the best therapy, and it invites people to be okay to say, you know what, I see myself in her.
Absolutely, and that's actually, I'm glad you said that. Is although it is fictional, and although it is meant not as a guide or anything like that, I think a good book allows you to put yourself in the shoes of the characters of the book. So if you have a book where, although it is meant to be entertainment or fictional, you can envision a little bit of yourself in the characters of the book. And so although you made it clear that it's not like a guide or like a self-help book or anything of the sort, but there is some self-help properties in your writing, no?
It depends on what you're looking for. Some people will go into it as this is a romantic comedy, and they're going to see the different comparisons that I make. Uh, I studied the Bible, I studied theology, and so when even in my writing, even in a rom com situation, I use a lot of parable type situations. So you're going to
Okay.
have those people that will see those things. They will see it and they will dig for it and they'll dig a little bit deeper, which will make them look at themselves. Then you'll have the people that'll just be like, it's a funny book or it's not a funny book. And that'll be it. So it depends on what you're going into this book for. I would encourage people that like to look deeper into things to listen to it. I wrote it and I've listened to it so many times, and I always hear something different. And I wrote it. I wrote it, but that's just it. I always hear something different, or I always say, you know what? I didn't realize that, whether it be a mental health situation that she's going through, how she works through it, how she works with people at her office. It's so dynamic for it to be what I went in to do with it. And there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. And again, I think any man can see themselves in the situation, or any woman can see themselves in this situation. The key point to it is I wanted people to understand it's in the bio is literally your makeup, who you are as a person, whether you feel that it's an external issue or it's an internal, it's all within your makeup.
Absolutely. So I know we want to talk about, your other endeavors, but my last question in regards to this particular writing is this: how did writing this particular book help you or influence you, or what was your takeaway from writing this particular rom-com book?
Excuse me. I'd like to be very clear. So I've always been a writer. In April of 2016, I lost my only sister. She passed away.
My condolences.
She literally in my adulthood drove my writing and kept pushing. And what she used to work at different stores, and she would always bring me a journal and sign it to Contessa from Colette. Keep doing you, keep writing, encouraging that. And I had a fear in me, a fear that was just, I can't even explain it. Like I just couldn't get past this fear, even though I knew I was a writer. It comes very easy for me. I just couldn't get past that fear. But when she died, there was a transference of energies at that time, and she left behind all her gifts. I know a lot of people think that we lose people. We do lose their physical, but when we lose them, we also gain all of the gifts and all the strengths that they have. And so her passing literally gave me that push to get past it. It took 4 years of walking through a lot of shadow work, a lot of therapy, a lot of seeing who I was as a person. I pulled out all of my diaries that I ever had, like trying to find me and all this stuff, and to get to that other side of pushing past the fear. So that's what I took away from it.
Absolutely.
The other side of where I am right now, standing in who I am, and understanding that all of those things that I have and I put on the shelf, it's time. Them birthing pains and labor pains has been going on long enough.
Now it's time to deliver, essentially. Time to deliver. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I always, this is part of a series, and I've been interviewing authors, and I always just kind of want to know, and I guess I'll kind of pose the same question to you is, well, I think you kind of answered it, the motivation behind writing the book, and then also what you yourself took away from the book, as opposed to what you want others to take away from it. Because again, what people will get out of it essentially would be based upon their level of understanding of it and the mind frame that they go into indulging whatever it is that you write. So I don't ever want to ask an author what they want others to get out of it, but more so what you got out of it, because a lot of people think that when you write, you're really writing for other people, and while other people they get the the byproduct of what you've written, but oftentimes in order to write something, it's almost like a struggle, and I don't necessarily mean struggle in a bad way, but more so just kind of like a tugging of trying to figure out how to verbalize what goes on up here. And so I really
Yeah.
appreciate you kind of diving into that and kind of sharing your thoughts about how the book may have affected you or what you got from what you wrote, because it's important for authors to also self-examine themselves when they write. And I know people that's going to go over a lot of people's head. Well, why do they have to self-examine themselves? Because you're writing these works, and it can have an impact on you as well as you putting words to wax. So
Right.
if you want to just expound on that a little bit, that'd be great.
Yes, you're absolutely right. So I can only speak for myself, but as an author and as a writer, as a creative,
Hmm.
um, really we get something different than what our audience is going to get. Again, I got a sense of power behind it. I turned my grief into power. I transmuted grief. I mean, deep down rooted grief into power, and it pushed that product out, right? So what it taught me is how to take painful situations and basically, I've had 3 children, and so I understand how that process works, and that's why I said, like, labor pains. I understand now when I'm going through painful situations, life situations, just whatever. I know how to take that power and transmute it into my creativity. That is what I took away from it. Before, I was holding on for dear life to that grief because that grief was the only thing that I had left of my sister, I thought.
Hmm.
But I didn't. I had more. That's why I went to where can I get rid of this? Where can I get rid of these pains, right? Where? And so that's why I went to all of those journals that she gave me, and I just would go through them and read them. And all it did, it started transmuting that grief, and it started, going into creative modes. And I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. I did a lot of shadow work. I did a lot of sitting with myself. I did a lot of private video vlogs, and I encourage people to do that, journaling by video, because you can see how you are today next year, and say, did I move any, or was it the same? So, that's what I got out of all this. I
Absolutely.
learned how to use different levels of pain and turn them into power through creativity.
Not an easy thing to do,
No,
by any stretch
no,
of the imagination. Yeah, not easy at all. Turning pain into passion, turning pain into really converting pain into anything other than pain
yes,
is hard. It is
yes,
very hard, but the rewards
mm,
of doing that is
mm,
so it's even unimaginable how you
mm.
can use the pain of any situation and you turn it into something good or something positive or something productive or something bigger than the pain itself. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm just thinking about some of the things that I have done, and so I can only imagine some of the pain that you've gone through losing a sibling. To turn that into productivity
Mm.
is that's a testimony.
And,
It's
it's a huge testimony. And I,
yeah.
when I started last year on social media, especially Facebook, I did a live to explain who I was as a person, because I just popped up on Facebook and I got this following really
Hmm.
fast. And I was in the midst of trying to finish up my book and all this. And I'm thinking, I got to get on here and I got to tell these people who I am, because it's like, well, we know she's an author. We know that she's working on a book, but who is she? And I sat through a live with my head up. And this is how I knew that I had started to heal. I sat on there for an hour and I explained, everything about my sister's death and everything behind it. and with a straight face, no more tears falling. Like it was. I knew that I was in the right place. But again, as a mother who birthed three children, I can remember each time saying, I don't like, well, me personally, I don't like pain. And I remember my first child, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And they was like, you don't have a choice. You only about 3 centimeters, sweetie. You got to get to 10. Like, I do not want to do this. I mean, I was like, no, I don't like pain. And I remember each child I was like, I don't want to do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And the doctors and nurses coming in is like, I'm sure they're thinking she's delusional. What do you mean she's going to give birth today? You have no choice. And so I remembered that. I remembered, Tessa, remember how you behaved when you were in pain. Remember how you behaved when you knew that you were going to push something great out, your three children. Remember. And I remembered that. And I used that type of imagery to work through the process of getting through my creative project.
Absolutely. For those of you just joining us, we are kicking it with Contessa Thornton, author and screenwriter. Happy to have her on the show. So now let's talk about the transition. So we have the book written. So now we are transitioning into being a screenwriter. So talk about the motivation to go from just being an author to a screenwriter. Like how did that come about?
So all of this came about after my sister died. My sister died in April of 2016. Throughout that year, I can't even tell you. I was all over the place mentally. Around September, October of 2016, I just started writing. I finished a book like in 3 months. I didn't publish it, finished it. Right after, it was an autobiography. Right after that, it came to me that you need to write a movie. And I'm thinking, I don't know how to write a movie. What? Like, I was like, this is all the delusion of me losing my sister, because I was all over the place. I was crying daily. I was mentally unstable, trying to work, trying to raise kids, and just unstable. And I'm thinking, where is this coming from? I got to write a movie? Like, I don't even know how. So the starting of January 2017, the book that I had wrote at that time became even bigger than the book. It became a screenplay. And I just wrote it. I copyrighted it, and I paused it. I put it on the shelf. Fast forward to now, to the healed Contessa, to the Contessa who's ready to stand in her power as a writer, as a screenwriter. The time is now. Here recently, I will tell you the movie is based on my life. My father was a Vietnam War veteran, and he died when I was 11 years old. And so that is the other part of my grief that I have to transmute, but that's on a larger scale. I recently just went to Vietnam to walk his steps that he walked in as a young soldier. And I spent time over there working through those feelings, emotions, getting footage for that. And so that's that. So I do have a GoFundMe out there to support that project, because that's a larger scale project, but it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Right under that, this is all happening at once. Right under that, I have just casted 4 out of my 6 cast members for a series called Tent City, and it deals with the socioeconomic issues of 6 different people, different walks of life, who end up in a homeless situation, and how they work with each other to move past it. We have an executive, we have a teacher, we have a Vietnam War vet, we have a young lady who just gets kicked out the house, ends up on the street. We have a young man who loses his funding from college. And they all end up in this situation, all these different walks of life. And so we're going to watch them unfold their lives and how they get past being homeless.
Wow. Okay. So you
I'm
said
excited. This has been exciting. In 2 weeks, I got 4 people casted. I think I just casted my lead yesterday. I mean, it's moving like this. When you on God's time, he gonna make it happen. Be ready.
that's
Gonna
it.
make it happen.
That's it. That's it. Being on God's time and not our own time, and that's so important, man. So we got 4 out of the 6 characters casted. So do we have a tentative date of when you're gonna start shooting, or is it kind of waiting until you cast and then kind of go from there? Honestly, I'm asking these questions because I really don't know. So how does
Absolutely.
that work?
No. Timing, I'm funding this myself. That's how much I believe in this project. So I am funding this myself. Time is money, money is time.
Right.
Okay. So we are going to start shooting in December next month.
Wow. Okay.
So the
And
casting is coming as it should. I do believe I have the lead. I'm still got something out. I've got some reads out for his wife, to cast his wife. But irregardless, we are going to start shooting because this is my money and this is under my budget. I can't wait. You know what I mean? So what you do in these types of situations, you just move around. If I don't have this, then I move over here and deal with these characters and get their footage done, right? So it's all gonna work out the way I have it. The way it's moving, I talked to one of the actors today. I was like, my goodness. I went from having another testimony. I want people to understand, for you, the creatives out here who want to walk in your truth as a creative, whether you're a writer, a musician, or whatever you are. I want you to understand that the time is now. Stand in your power. Stand in your power. Don't worry about where it's going to come from, where the money's going to come from, how it's going to happen. Don't worry about those details. Use the characteristics and the things that you know how to do good now and build. I live in DFW. I had zero, as of 2 weeks ago, network of actors or anybody else to work with. All I had was an idea. That is all I had. An idea, and I have faith, and I have a trust in who I am as a woman, as a person, as a creative. I put it out in the universe after much prayer, and God was like, it's time, get up, get shoes on, let's go. I put it out there on social media that I needed 6 actors, and they just flew in. They flew in. All of a sudden, I done become a casting director now. Now I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I mean, it was coming so fast. I was like, oh my gosh. But all of those things are inside of you. All you have to do is believe and activate. Just activate. Just stand there and say, God, I'm ready. I surrender. Whatever it is my gifts are, I'm ready. I'm ready. And he's going to give everything you need. He's going to show you the blueprint to everything. And it's going to be so clear, so easy. The time's now. I'm telling you, the time's now. But I want people to understand, as someone who studied theology from a standpoint of faith without works is dead. People use that all the time. They use that all the time because I think it's comfortable for us to use biblical statements. Maybe it makes people feel good, but it is really true. The time is now. Everyone is distracted with the socioeconomic issues. Me, I'm over here like I'm about to snatch and grab. Okay, this is a snatch and grab moment. Anytime you have huge distractions, people of faith should be trying to look inward and say, God, what are you trying to tell me? I don't care what's going on around the world. I don't care. What are you trying to tell me? Because that means you've got everybody looking that way. The people of God should be looking this way. They should be looking like, God, what are we supposed to do? Everybody's distracted. He is handing out all types of stuff to his believers. But everybody is so focused on that social media. They're so focused on repeating the same thing we already know. I don't watch TV, so I don't know these things are going on. I don't know what's going on at all. Every time somebody said, did you see, do you know? I do not. I got things I gotta do. I'm going to be who I'm going to be regardless. I'm trying to get to a feature film. I don't care to regurgitate the same information we already know. Now, if you are one of those people, which I respect the people, because we still need those people. We all can't be the hand, right? We still need those people to watch out and see what's going on through the socioeconomic things in the world. But what are you going to do? Now, we can't keep regurgitating, resharing it, getting the same think pieces on it. Like, you just got to move forward. And that's just me taking every different piece of me, Esco, as a woman, and me stepping into who I know I am and who I've always been. It's just taking all those different pieces, and she's become one. She's become Contessa Thornton.
Absolutely. I mean, I hope y'all getting, what she's putting down. Like find what it is that you need to find based on what you see is going on. What is your truth? Your truth, yes, we do have certain things going on, but what is it that you specifically are supposed to be learning, or what is it you specifically are supposed to be doing as a result of what's going on? Because the truth of the matter is that at the end of the day, the only person that you have to be around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year is you. So you have to control the narrative of how your mind is and what you think. And yes, you may have, bits and pieces that come from other places, but ultimately you have to control how you process information. You can only control how you process information, not how other people process information. So I appreciate you saying that, because I think a lot of times we do get caught up in the social media and how people are perceiving things. And I'll be honest, I have been guilty of that as well. But you saying that just kind of made it click in my mind. Like, yes, certain things are going on, but what is it, if we look deep down within us, how are we supposed, or what is it that we have to get out of what's going on? How can we as individuals move forward? Because we can't control what other people do, but we can control what we do. So I really do appreciate you saying that. And based on your go get it type of mentality, I feel like you are going to be successful, because you are putting the work behind the faith that you have, not only in God, but in yourself. You're basically betting on yourself. I think you said you're funding this yourself. So
yeah.
It's almost like a back against the wall type of, this has to happen.
Absolutely.
Because I'm funding it. I can't go get money from, a Tyler Perry or somebody like that. I am funding this myself. So kudos to you for doing that, because that takes a certain amount of fortitude. That takes a certain amount of belief in self, to be able to push forward in that manner.
I agree, and I appreciate the sentiments. I do. There's a lot of people that are betting against me, and that's where they went wrong. When you believe in God and you've been on your walk with God as long as I've been on my walk with God, and you understand who He is and who I am to Him, I don't have time to play with nobody. Timing and execution. He was waiting on me to get past this irrational fear that the world gave me. The world gave me. He didn't give me that. He told me He knew me before my mama had me. He didn't give me that fear. That was fear that was dredged up through staring, and I'm guilty of it too, of staring at social media or staring at the news until you freak yourself out. And all types of things, just all types of things. So He was waiting on me. And so you're right. I sat for years I have so many different projects on deck. I sat for years waiting for what? For someone to believe in me? No. I walked through that door and I swear it slammed shut. And once it slammed shut and I realized I couldn't get back in, it was like, get to work. That's what you got left. Get to work.
Let's get it. Yeah.
So I funded my audiobook. That was not cheap. Thousands of dollars. And I'm not bragging. I'm not a rich woman. I'm not bragging. I'm just letting people understand, when you believe in something, you'll bet on yourself. You won't wait for people to do anything. The only thing that I can tell you is the truth right now is, one, like you said, I will touch and agree with you. I will be successful in this. And number two, I'm going to make it to that feature film. That's the only thing that is, I don't have everything together for. But this is my avenue with this series to get there, to be seen, to be recognized for the writer I am.
Absolutely.
I am a multi-level writer. I mean, I talked to one of the actors today. I done kicked out season 1, almost done, and I started yesterday. I mean, when it comes to your gifts, God don't play about his children and their gifts. He does not play. We have to get serious about it. We do. It's nobody else. Not nobody supporting you, not your mama, your friends, not nothing. We got to get serious about what he sees in us, not what everybody else. And that's what happens. People get wrapped up. Well, nobody's supporting me. Let me tell you something. I don't care who supports me. I mean, it's getting to a point of, that's how much I realized I didn't see what God saw in me. Mm-hmm. My father.
There you go.
I don't know about anything else. So it's not an arrogance. I don't want anyone to take this away as arrogance. It's just me standing and it's almost like a celebration. You know, when I hit that 50, my sister didn't get to make it to 50. I did. So yes, I'm going to stand tall with my head up. I'm going to push forward because I ain't got no choice. Like you said, I'm betting on myself.
Yeah. And you back in, you pretty much putting all your chips on the table. Like, this is what it is, betting on yourself. And I love it. I mean, it takes courage. It takes courage. It takes a certain level of, like you said, I'm all I got, essentially, in the sense that you're doing it yourself. So again, I definitely commend you for that. So with you moving into the screenwriting, are you abandoning books, or are you going to kind of do it all, or what's your vision for yourself going forward?
Actually, again, I have so much on deck. I do have some projects, another book. This will be a physical book, and this taps into, you're going to love this one. This taps into urban erotica. So that's another one that I am finishing up. So the projects that I'm working on are on my website, www.imagineme.com. And yeah, it talks about that one. That one's called Plastic Bag. That's urban erotica. And that's I had so much in me, you know, it's just all poof, 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 poof.
Will you say that you have a lot of different things in you? Do you ever get overwhelmed by all the different thoughts that come into your head about what you want to do going forward, or is it just kind of, you just take it all in stride?
It can become overwhelming. You do have to step away. What I do to work through it, now that I'm in a healthy space, mental space, physical space, spiritual space, is I understand the cues of being overwhelmed. I don't sit there and keep walking and being overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm humble enough to understand when I need to reach out and say to someone else, I'm overwhelmed, and just be honest and transparent, right? And like yesterday, I got overwhelmed and I felt it coming on because I was just going fire. But it hit me like I was crashing. I felt that crash. And I had to go lay down, take a nap. And I don't even know if it was really a nap. It was really just a reset. Got back up and kept going. So you have to understand your cues of what that feels like.
Okay, so basically paying attention to yourself. And I think, people sometimes, and I've been guilty of this as well, you think the best way to overcome something is to keep going. And I don't fault anybody for having that mind frame, because there are times where you do have to keep going, but there are also times where, for lack of a better term, you got to sit down somewhere. You got to sit down somewhere, because if you can go so much and then you fall apart. So I appreciate you saying, like, really taking the time to learn your mind and learn your body and learn how things are affecting you, is what I want people to take away from what she just said. Really, really being in tune with oneself. The Bible talks about examining thyself, and you do have to examine yourself and realize, hey, I'm doing too much. I need to chill out for a little bit. Um, but being honest with yourself is important too,
Mm.
and not ignoring those things, because if you're honest with yourself, when it's time, when you can go a little bit more, and when it's time to really sit down. And
You
there's
know,
nothing
at
wrong with
this
it.
state of most of our ages, if you don't, then you're going to end up in the ground. My sister was one of them. She was too prideful to say, I'm sick, too prideful to say, I need to take off from work because she needed to be there. There's other people at these jobs, y'all. You know, if you need to call off, you need to call off. You know, I understand everybody's scared, but if you don't pay attention, we got one body to work with, then, you may be set down for good. So,
Absolutely.
like you said, learn your cues, and be okay. It's okay. It's not a weakness. It's not a weakness to ask for help. It's not a weakness to say I'm tired. It's not a weakness to say I'm overwhelmed.
Absolutely. It's not at all. And as a mental health, as somebody who has had mental health challenges, um, it is okay to not be okay. Um, I think when people hear that, they're like, okay, well, should you stay in a sense of not being okay? That's not what it's saying. But if you do get to a point where you're not okay, that is okay. And realizing that you have to address those issues. So I really appreciate you kind of tapping into that, because I think people, although mental health has more press these days, I still feel like it's still not as prevalent as it should, because you still got people that's ignoring, how they feel. You still got people that are not being sensitive to those who go through things. So it's very important that we don't um, don't fall into the stigma of not talking about mental health. It's very important. So I appreciate you kind of shedding some light on that. Um, so I know we've been on for about an hour now, and I really don't want to take too much more of your time, but I just have one more question for you. I know we talked about with the book that we kind of what you took from it. So with all your projects, with your books, and your screenwriting, the series that's on the way, the movies that are on the way, if you can just say as simply as possible, what would you like the legacy of Contessa Thornton to be? What would that look like for you?
Great question. So the legacy for Contessa Thornton is that she was born, she believed in God, she walked that walk, and she made it on the other side.
That's it.
There's no
That's
in
it.
between. She was born. God has been with me. I've always believed in Him. I've been through many different faiths. I've been Catholic, Presbyterian, holiness. I studied Islam. I was in Islam for a year. I've always believed Him. He's always been with me, even through all of those different things. So that's what I want to leave behind. I want to leave behind someone, just a regular old person that was born, who believed in God, and she made it on the other side. And with all of my journals, I want to make the sentiment. People always say, well, the Bible isn't real. Those are a bunch of fake people. I said, really? I said, because when I pass on and I leave all these journals behind, will I be a fake person? All my testaments and my testimonies of what God did?
Mm. Well, I have never heard anybody put it that way, and that makes so much sense. Wow. So yes, that makes a lot of sense. So if somebody challenges the Bible, I never heard it put that way, and that makes a lot of sense. What I write now will be something that can be verified after I'm gone. So why would we challenge something that was written by somebody who has gone on albeit however long ago. Wow, I love that. I really, really love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow. I'm blown away right now. I'm almost speechless. Like I've never thought about it like that, but that makes a lot of sense. It really does. It really,
Yeah,
really
I just,
does.
there's just so many things people don't think about. And I think that we don't have good conversations like me and you just sitting here chatting, right? We don't do this anymore. People are so addicted to social media in the sense of social media can be good. It's been good to me. I have a great
Hmm.
following, it's still growing. I'm finally trying to find the people that are there for me, right? But I think sometimes we don't use it to the best of our abilities. Okay, we do not use it to the best of our abilities. Great way to get information out. So you're an avenue, I'm an avenue, right? But there's more of the bad stuff than it is the good. There's more of the
Exactly.
let's
Yeah.
keep people paralyzed than helping them grow, heal, see the best in them, right? Marvin
Yeah.
said it best. He saw the best in me. I mean, we don't spend our time doing that. And that's just the truth of the matter.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. Social media, people do things for likes and views, and they would rather, post stuff that causes discord and
Yes.
confusion and all that versus actually uplifting people. So you're so right about that. It's
That's
funny,
it.
my pastor was talking about in church today how like people are quick to highlight how negative social media is, but all social media is what people put into it. So if you sow seeds of discord, if you sow seeds of confusion, chaos,
Mm.
then that's the harvest that you're going to reap. But if we use our platforms, if we use our voices to sow positivity, that's why I'm very adamant about like mental health and uplifting. I'm very, very, that's pretty much what I gear all of my platform is to get people to think. I'm not bashing anybody or I'm
Oh
none of that,
no.
or yeah,
No.
yeah.
No.
So
That's not what it's there. That's not
yeah,
I don't think that either one of us are doing that. I
yeah,
think education is the best. Everybody has a part to play, good and bad. Okay,
right,
everybody in the world, everybody has a part to play. So I'm not bashing anybody either. The
yeah,
people that are doing the things that are not conducive to growth are meant to be there. That's the push pull method. That is normal. Okay, that is life. That is us still being living, breathing being. It has to happen. But you
mhm,
have a choice. You have free will. Do I want to go this
yep,
way or do I want to go that way? That's up to you. If you want to
mhm,
sow discord, sow your discord. If you want to be on the portion that is teaching people, pulling out the best, pulling out their gifts, showing them how to grow, then that's on you. It's all up to you. What you do with you, like you said, we got to spend 365 days, 24/7 with ourselves. That is up to you.
yep,
How you spend your days. And if you use these are just platforms, these are just avenues to spread messages. That's all it is.
absolutely, absolutely, and I appreciate that very, very much. So again, the hour is gone, so I definitely want to be a respecter of your time. But I personally appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and kick it with Disciple Nation. I do have her website that is shown on my screen if you are watching this live or on the video replay. Um, if they desire to get in touch with you, do you
Mhm.
prefer for them to be routed through this website?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
easier for me to get through. I have a website full of men and I'm not going in the DMs, ladies. Or gentlemen. I'm not digging through those DMs to find you. So I'd appreciate that if you do want to get in touch with me, please go to my website and contact me like that.
Absolutely. And business only, please. Like
Please.
let's not be creeps and trying to holler at her on her website or anything like that. Let's be respectful, Disciple Nation. I like to think of all people that tune into the show are respectful, outstanding citizens, but I do want to put that disclaimer out there that this is a business website. So if you have a legitimate business interest with Miss Thornton, please check out her website, www.imagenme.com. And how do you pronounce that?
Imagine me.
I wouldn't have even looked at that and tried to pronounce it that way. So
I know.
I appreciate that. Well, Disciple Nation, you guys know how I rock. So please go and support my friend Contessa on her many endeavors, books, screenwrites. I see, she's working on the series. I see screenplays. I see a lot of different things that is going to be coming her way. So please support her. She does have social media as well, but if you really want to support her, check out her website. I'm assuming all of her endeavors will be through that website, so definitely check her out there. Is there any final remarks that you want to give to the people before we let you go?
No, not at all. I appreciate you having me on. I think this was a great conversation. And God bless everybody that's listening. And that's what I've got. I think I threw out a lot of seeds tonight. So it's up to you how you want to use them. You can throw them in the garbage or you can go plant some.
Hey, what you do with the seeds is completely up to you. I can't tell you how to go about reaping your harvest. All I could do is give you the seeds, and how you choose to cultivate them is ultimately going to be up to you. And so we appreciate those seeds. Mm-hmm. That said, you guys know how I rock at the end of every episode. We want to go ahead and offer up the prayer with the topic of discussion in mind. So since Ms. Thornton was kind enough to come in and kick it with Disciple Nation, we want to go ahead and lift her up in prayer that she continues on her journey to whatever it is that God has for her, whatever greatness that God sees fit for her. We want to go ahead and lift her up in prayer with that in mind. So I will go ahead, if it's okay with you, if I can go ahead and offer prayers for you on your behalf for your success and your continued clarity on the journey that you're on. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, let us bow our heads. Most precious Heavenly Father, we thank you right now for this day, this hour, these moments that we are spending in your presence, Lord. At this time, I want to lift up my friend Contessa at this particular time. You know the desires of her heart. You know the mission that she's on. You know the journey that she's on. And so, Lord, I just ask that if it's in your will that those dreams, those visions will come to pass. They will come to fruition, Lord. Lord, I ask that any barriers that are presented her way, Lord, use them as not as barriers, but use them as stepping stools, as building blocks to be able to shore up her foundation, so that way the purpose that she has in mind be carried out, Lord. I ask that you just continue to bless her coming, bless her going in, bless her ministry, bless her works, and that anything that comes to oppose her, that we remove those things in you. And we ask that you continue to keep her, guide her, mold her, give her the vision, but also allow her to remember to keep you first as she go forward in her journey, Lord. Let us not forget to give you all glory, all honor, all praise in your precious and holy name. Everyone say amen.
Amen.
And amen. So we are going to let our guests go. But again, from my bottom of my heart, I really appreciate your time and coming and kicking it with Disciple Nation. And again, let me put that website up once again. That is the website, guys. So go and check her out. Her writings will be on there. Any of her future projects will be through that website. Business inquiries, let me say it this way, serious business inquiries can be directed to that website there. Again, I like to believe all of my followers are upstanding citizens, but I do want to put that disclaimer because you just never know who might see this and be like, ooh, she ain't answer the DM, but let me see if I can get to it through the website. Nah. So serious business inquiries only can be directed to that website that you guys see on the screen there. Any final words for us?
No, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and God bless all of you. Seriously,
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
We will go ahead and let her go. I appreciate her stopping by. Wow. So that was my friend. I definitely appreciate her coming through and blessing the show. So definitely, guys, if you see the website there, definitely check her out. Her writings, her book that she has published, her audio book, excuse me, and then any future projects, you can definitely check her out there. So as I wrap up the show, guys, don't forget, please, if you have not done so, please subscribe to my podcast, Diciple Talks, on your favorite podcast networks. Anybody looking to get in touch with your boy, feel free to shoot me an email at disciple_talks@yahoo.com. Any donations monetary can be sent to me via Cash App, $ Esco the Disciple. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out the show. Just guys, don't remember this, man. Find your anchor and find what it is that is going to keep you grounded in the time of trouble. It's very important for us to have that on deck, just in the event that if anything happens, you have something that will keep you grounded as you go through, the storms of life. That's my time, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I want to say thank you guys so much for kicking it with us here at Diciple Talks. I am your gracious and humble host, Esco the Disciple. I'm signing off. I want to say take care. God bless. I love each and every one of you all, but remember, and most importantly, God loves you more, man. Take care. Peace.